Hello, this is Danny from Danny Design Studio, and this is September Class in a Box, and today we are making these 5 projects, matching box, gift bag if you want to call it, and card, and then these 3 other cards, and they all come from the Boho Indigo suite, which is on page 9 of the annual catalogue. And it's this lovely suite here. Love it. So this top section here, you get the stamp set and the dies, and then you can, if you want to, have buy the refill kit. So the refill kit doesn't include the stamp set and dies. It just includes the consumables. So that's 48 sheets of designer series paper, 6 sheets of very vanilla dry embossed paper, 6 sheets of die cuts, and 40 flowers. So, and this is what we have made from this. So let's start with the gift bag and matching card. Okay, so your paper, I have actually done all the scoring and the cutting for you, but I want to show you how to do it. So you start off with a piece of card, very vanilla cardstock, measuring 11.5 times 7 3/4. So then you are going to, with a long side at the top, you're going to score at 3 3/4. So you're going to find the 3 3/4, which is here, and then you're going to put the edge of the card up to it and flush against the top. Don't forget, you're only using this. This is the scoring tool, the lighter tool, and this one is the cutting tool. You need to pop that completely away. You're only using the scoring tool, and then you're going to score there, and then the next one is 5.5. So find 5.5, which is here, pop the end of your card there, score, and then 9 1/4 is the next one. Find 9 1/4, and then score, and the last one is at 11. So putting your card right to the end at 11, and then scoring. And then you're going to turn it clockwise, and you're going to score this bit at 1 3/4. Flush at the top again, and then score down. So that is what I've already done, but if you wanted to do another box, then you'll know how to do it yourself. So you've then got a piece of card with all these score lines. You're going to burnish all these score lines. Let's get my bone folder. And so I just wanted to say actually one thing about scoring. So when you score, you're actually sort of softening the fibres on the top, so that when you actually fold, it gives you a nice crisp edge. And then if you're doing it with your embossing, your scoring tool, then it gives it just a nice finish. If you score it on this side and then you fold it that way, you're actually going to get not a great finish. Whereas here you will get a good finish because you've already softened the fibres in this section of the card, so it bends easier. So, and then this is the last bit I'm going to burnish. And then with your narrow part, this edge, I'm going to cut. You've got 2 rectangles and 2 squares. Now you cut up the rectangles and then you notch into the squares, and I'll just show you how to do that. So you go right to the top of that score line. And then with this bit, you're going to take that off because you don't need it. And this bit you don't need either. So with this square bit, you're going to notch these in like that. So the rectangles are straight lines and the squares are notched. Now at this point, it is easier to actually put your DSP on. So I've already done one earlier, and I put everything in a cellophane. So your first cellophane packet has got your box and your matching card, and then the others are separate as well, so it's sort of easier to find the bits that you need to stick on. So the two DSP is going to go in the front and the back, so you stick that on now. I've already cut and burnished this bit. Now then this bit here is going to be glued to the other side. So I'm going to you could use tear and tape, which I was going to use, but I think this is what most people have got, so I thought I'll use this. Then within a few seconds this will dry anyway. So you can see your box is taking shape. And then the bottom bit, whatever bit is tidier, you can then put your glue on and then make sure it's nice and flush. You can put your bone folder in, make sure it's stuck down. And then you pinch the top bit like this, and then that is your little gift bag box. So then I'm going to put the ribbon around it. I've given you two lots of ribbon and you can decide what you would like. I'm going to use the cotton ribbon here. And I've given you a little bit of tear and tape. If you put that at the back, decide which is the best way and what is your front and back. And about an inch from the top, I just put it on a straight line, and then you can just tear it off. And then pick this off if you can. Sometimes takes a little while. There we go. This bit's a little bit extra, you can just pop it back on itself, and then you sort of have to get it and measure so that you know you've got enough for the front. So I think that is going to be, going to be enough for the front, and then I'm going to close it by tying it off. I'm going to tie it off now only because then I can see where I'm going to put my front bit. If you look at this, you don't want to put all your sentiment and everything underneath there with where the bow's going to go, so it gives you a good idea of where you want the bow, and then you'll have an idea of where you're going to put the sentiment. So in here is done a slightly different sentiment. To what the original card was, only because I didn't have enough of these lovely die cuts left, because I sent them all to you. So I thought I would use the actual Boho Indigo stamp set, and I've used a bunch of Birthday Love to You. So I'm going to put that on. Now what you need to do is remember that you're not gluing everything. So if you're going to put this on the flower, you're not going to have it glued to everything. So just put the glue where you're going to stick it. So I'm just sticking it the side there, and then these bits I'm going to just glue to the back. But if you put some dimensionals on the back of here, you can then stick your leaves sort of underneath it, and then it's easier to position it on your bag. So if I show you what I mean by that, I'm going to pop that there. It's going to be raised up on the dimensionals, and then I can stick my leaves in there with some glue. Now it's tricky because you only need a little bit of glue on the stalks. If you find these stalks are too much and it's coming out the other end, for example, just cut the stalks off. Use what you need. Just need a little bit of sticking on. And that's one done. And I could use a few little pearls on there that I've given you just to give it some decorative effect. But I'm going to leave it at that, but you get the picture. So that's that one. Then we're going to do the gatefold card, which opens in the middle. So that should be in the same pack. So take everything out of the pack, it's easier. So you've got your gatefold card plus your insert here, and this measures 8 by 6, I think. Let's have a look. 8 by 6, yeah. So you're then scoring it at 2 and then at 6, and then as you fold, it folds into the middle. That's how you get your nice gatefold card. So at this stage, you will then stick your DSP on, which I also cut for you. If you've got a pattern, don't forget to have it up the same way. But this hasn't got a pattern, so I'm just going to put it on with some glue. And stick it right down with using your bone folder. Now when you come to the middle, you've got this little sort of pot shaped, and then this nice little sentiment. I've put the sentiment on it already, and I've stuck this down with dimensionals, so you can then, like I said again, you can poke your poke your leaves into that, and then you can just adjust it the way you want it really. I'm going to cut these off because they're a bit too long. I'm going to pop that there and cut that off. Don't need a lot of glue. So easy to put loads of glue on and then you get it everywhere. So, and these flowers you could either put on with glue dots, or you can put a little bit of the wet glue on. They're a bit fiddly and sometimes it's easier to have tweezers or something to pick them up. Just got 3. Oop, doesn't want to stick. So there we go. They need a little, because it's sort of like a flock material, it needs a little bit of extra glue. So then remember, when you put that in the middle, you only need glue on that part. So what I'm going to do is decide where I want it. For example, there, and then eyeball how much glue I need. I'm going to put it on there, but because it's so easy to think, oh, I need glue on all of that, and then actually I only need glue on half of it. So sometimes easier to put glue on the card. And that's it. Then don't forget your insert. If you're going to write on the insert, I would do that now, because if you stick it in and then stamp on the insert, if you get it wrong, you've lost the whole card. So just for speed, I'm going to not do it, but obviously if you do it, don't forget to do your stamping on the insert. You could actually decorate it as well with some pattern just to make it look prettier. So that's that one. So the next one is the square card. Take everything out. So you've got your square envelope, you've got your insert, and you've got these 2 little bits here. Slightly different paper to the original because obviously there's only so much papers of the same pattern, and so that's why you're seeing something slightly different. So you pop your DSP onto the square there. Now if you look at the original, that is a frame. Now with this month I was promoting this Framed For You stamp set, which has a really lovely frame here, and I chose this stamp set because it's got nice little sentiments which stick on well to the die cuts that they give you in the pack. So that's why I've chosen this one, and I thought the frame is really nice. Now on the original I've stamped that in crumb cake and put a little gem up there and put the twine on to make it look like an actual picture. But for those of you who haven't bought that, I'm going to show you something different, just a different way of doing it. So that's going to stick on there at some point, but I've given you this little scalloped edge square card, and you're just going to use that as your little not picture frame, but your middle. So I'm going to cut this, and again I'm going to raise this little vase, do it at the bottom so that I can poke all the leaves and things at the top. That's my vase. And then these, you could, if you wanted to, like I did on the original, I stamped, where is the original? Suddenly gone, here it is. I've stamped onto the actual card, which sort of gives it a different layering. So you've got that, a flat surface, then you've got this die cut, and then you've got the flowers, and it sort of brings it into another dimension. But if you're not keen to do that, you can just do this, and this is fine. So I'm then going to put some glue on here. Again, you can cut it down to size if you want to. And then I have used here the little flowers on the stamp set, and then I've cut it out. And I'm going to then make it into a sort of 3D shape. Again, I'm using a sort of this sponge board, but you can use your thigh, and you can pop that on your thigh and use a round-edged instrument like a pen or anything like that, and you can just push it out so that they give a little 3D shape. So then you put that on your card. The flowers I've given you is a different type of die cut, and then I've given you some little pearls that you can pop in the middle. Now I haven't put a huge amount on, but you get the idea, and then that goes on top there. And again, I've done that with dimensionals because this square bit's going to be flat. Sometimes they come off easily and sometimes they don't. So try and get it into the middle. But remember, you've got to put your sentiment on. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit so I can get my sentiment on. And then that is just going to go to the side. So it's this side. I'm just going to put some glue on this side because I'm just going to pop it on there. And then once you're happy with that, you can mount it. Doesn't want to come out today. And it's just a case of eyeballing it so that you've got it in the middle. And you can use your bone folder, make sure it's stuck down really well. And then I'm just going to show you if you wanted to do a little decoration inside the card. Sometimes, I haven't shown you this before, but sometimes it's just nice to do something inside the card. So I've used this little leaf here, and I'm going to stamp it. I've got Misty Moonlight, one of the new in colours, and I'm going to stamp this all the way up the side. And that's it really. Just gives you another little feature of the card. So then I'm going to put that inside. Making sure it is drying. Most of it is dried, that ink, but because it's so dark it's so easy to get it everywhere. So that's that. You could have a few more little greenery in there, but you get the idea. So that's the third card. Then we've got, what we got? This one. So this is your fourth card, or fourth project I should say. You've got your insert in there, you've got your little bits that go on. That is going to go straight onto there. Easy peasy. That's all cut to measure for you. Then you've got this lovely little disc here, and then you're just going to really sort of get all your vases. You could use that side of the vase if you want to, because you've got dark there, and some of these little bits don't want to come out, but then you sort of, you can then cut these down again because they sometimes are too long. Put those in there, and then sort of find out where you want to place it first. So I think I'm going to go to the side like that. So first of all I'm going to put my disc on. Then I'm going to use this part of the card, not that side I think. That's why it's nice using DSP, because you can choose whichever side you want really. And then I'm going to raise that one up just so that it looks sort of like it's in front of that other vase. Making sure it's on the same sort of level. And then sort of poke that in. I mean, if you wanted to raise this bigger vase, you could raise that onto the dimensional instead of this one. I try not to stick everything down because it's nice to actually have a bit of movement on that. So it gives you sort of a bit of a 3D element to it. And then that I would like to put onto some dimensionals, so it raises it up. I've already stamped. This is a sympathy one because I need one. I thought I'll put sympathy one instead of a birthday. And then I could put a little pearl in there. But I will leave it for the moment. So that is your fourth one. And then the last one is this fun one. I really love this one because it gets rid of all your scrap bits of paper, the scrappy card. So you can see from the original, you've got, this is crumb cake, and then you've got this mounted onto the Misty Moonlight. So this is all scrap bits of card, and with this this card class, I have got loads of scrappy bits. So I'm going to show you how to make these scrap bits. And you can use it another time for when you do have some DSP left over and you don't know what to do with it. They're quite good for mail cards. So this is 6 inches and it's the length of the card. If you get it into your cutter, you put that angle at the top and then you sort of make a triangle with it. You don't want the scorer, you want the cutter, and you cut it. So that is your triangle. And then again, if you're at the top point of your triangle needs to go into the scorer, and then that you just adjust so that it's however big or small you'd like it. So again, move it. So you've got all these bits and pieces. I'm going to do one more. I've done a few already, so as not to bore you to death with cutting these triangles. You could do it not just with triangles, but you can just do it with strips of paper. So I've got a few strips here, and then I've given you 2 bits of Misty Moonlight blue, so you've got a bigger bit. You're going to keep that to mount that on the card. The smaller bit you're going to put onto, trying to find my silicone mat. Silicone mat is really good for when you're putting glue onto a surface, because it won't get the glue onto the paper and stick everything everywhere. So you're going to then put these on here, and you're going to display them so that just randomly. So I'm going to leave a gap. I'm going to leave that so that it's got a little bit of an edge. Then I'm going to put the darker side that way, the other one. So that way is going to go that side up. Then I'm going to leave a sort of gap in the middle and try and leave the gap so that it's the same gap, same size gap every time. So I'm going to alternate with these 3 different bits of card. So I've got a dark blue here, so it'd be easier if I had that sort of lighter colour going next to it, otherwise there's 2 darks together. I'm going to just cover this piece of paper and then maybe that side, use that piece which is the darker colour next to the lighter colour, and you just keep going until you cover it. So I would like to use that again, that side. So trying to get some sort of pattern, but it's really up to you. You could just use 2 pieces of DSP and alternate between the two pieces. And it is a great way of using up cardstock. Last one. Right, so you've then got your pattern, and you're going to turn it over, and I've got, it doesn't matter about that side, so I'm then going to cut all of that excess off. So I don't want it. It's going to get sticky everywhere. And this is then going to mount onto the larger Misty Moonlight cardstock. Or you could have a different, you could have crumb cake if you wanted to. Get this out of the way. And that's your pattern. So you then mount it onto the larger piece of cardstock. I'm then going to put my twine on, do my bow, do it twice round. And then once you've done your bow, you can adjust it to where you want it. Now, the original, can I find the original? Nope, I've lost it. So anyway, you've got your disc, and then I've just got this on there. So I'm going to put this flat because I want to raise up my sentiment. I want to put this to one side, I think, with the bow. So I'm going to raise a sentiment up. And I've used that little leaf from Framed for You to just fill in the gap there. Put that there. And then again, because it's raised up, you can adjust this to the side. I want it to really go that side, but I don't want to take up too much of the time of the video. You get the picture. So then I'm going to glue my leaves on and poke that in. I think you have got, not these leaves, you've got the nice die cut leaves from the actual stamp and from this set. So I am then going to stick that to the front. I'm going to give it the border all around the edge. And then don't forget your insert. And again, if you want to put your sentiment in, do it now. And that goes inside. Just gives it a nicer finish with an insert, I think. So there we go. Get all this mess out of the way. That is our matching box and card. And then we've got, these are the cards. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Happy stamping, crafters! If you like this video, please click the like button below, and please subscribe and select the bell icon to all to receive notifications of when I upload. Thank you.